3 months ago, I received a package from Lockers. It was my SkullCandy Superpipe, which I ordered completely for free, and I have spent the last 3 months, putting together a review of everything that it involved. This includes hardware, playback, and even the remote control. I'm Connor from Dragon Rider Network, and you're watching my review of the SkullCandy Superpipe. So the SkullCandy Superpipe is a portable speaker from SkullCandy. Runs you about $100 on most websites. I think right now on SkullCandy's website, it's on sale for about $70. I'll have a link down the bottom so you can get to it. But this is a very good product of theirs. I've been very satisfied with it, and I want to share some of the features with you that I thought were very good. First of all, the hardware. The hardware on the SkullCandy Superpipe is good and bad. I'll start off with the good. The good is that it is very, very sturdy. You can definitely feel it's a solid device. All the way around, you can definitely feel it's very compact, but also it's very supportive. Another good thing about it is that it is small-ish. And I'll get back to that later, but the good part about it is that it's not some monster speaker that's going to dominate your workspace. It's a very good size, but, I'll get back to it in the cons later. Another thing about it is that it runs incredibly well on 4 AA batteries. You can just pop off the bottom and then plug in 4 AA batteries and blast it at full quality. In my testing for about maybe 5 hours, maybe more if you don't blast it at full quality the whole time like I do. I like music loud, just my opinion. And finally is that the device itself does not vibrate that much. This is good for 2 reasons. Number one, every time I had a speaker and it would vibrate when I start cranking up the music, it would get annoying as heck because it would just rumble my whole workspace and it would just be annoying. And another is that it drastically reduces the quality in music, so you get a much poorer experience when you're listening. This one, it really reduces the vibration and you really keep up the high quality. Now time for what I didn't think was so good about the SkullCandy Superpipe hardware. Number one, and this was a big one for me, is it does not have EQ controls. In my opinion, I'm a huge audiophile, and this was a really big disappointment when I found out this was true. My iHome IH8 speaker, which I purchased about 2 years ago, in fact does have EQ controls, and I was very surprised when I found out the SkullCandy Superpipe didn't. And it was just very disappointing because, the audio is good, but it's a little bit flat at times. It was just something that I was disappointed in, but it didn't totally bum me out. It was still a very positive sound. Another one, and this is also pretty big, is that it has a very loose-feeling iPod dock. The iPod dock is definitely not something you would want to take your iPod in and out of a lot. Primarily because I did it about twice, and I was pretty sure both those times I might have actually broken it. It's very loose, and in my opinion, I just mainly use the auxiliary in, for getting audio through the device. And it works just as well. Yes, I can't charge my iPod, but I'd rather have a really great, useful device that I can still listen to and can work for some iPods then rather have a half broken one than not use it at all. And finally, it does have a medium footprint to the device. Like I said before, it was a smallish device, but this is not a device that I keep on my desk. It's a device that I actually keep up on my shelf over there, and to be honest, it's actually pretty big, but it's still one of those things where if you keep it on your desk and you have a good setup, it shouldn't be that bad, but still, in my opinion, it's a little bit big to keep on your desk. Just probably put it somewhere where it wouldn't interfere that much. So you got an idea of hardware. Now, what we're going to look at is playback on the speaker itself. Some of the good stuff I found out about the SkullCandy Superpipe audio is that you can really get a lot of power from just a little bit of effort. For the SkullCandy Superpipe, you can really crank up the volume and still not get distortion. Of course, this is a lot of help from the design, but also it sounds really well when you crank it up in a big room or even when you're outside taking it portably. Compared to devices such as my iHome, it really stacked up in terms of bass and high-end frequency noises. But compared to devices like my Bose speakers, of course, compared to a company like Bose, you're not really going to have the same expectations, and it's going to sound a little bit different. The bad that I found about the SkullCandy Superpipe, once again, is with the EQ controls. At times, it just sounds a little bit too flat for when you're listening to higher quality music or for when you just want a little bit more power. And this also goes along with weak pitch, not enough bass in a song that you would want, and just all of that. Overall, though, I was very impressed with the quality of music. The quality sounds amazing, both through the iPod dock and through the auxiliary port. It just sounds really well, and it all just works. And finally, one of the biggest things about the SkullCandy Superpipe is the remote. The remote, in my opinion, is one of my favorite parts about it, and I don't mean that in a bad way. The remote, in fact, is much better than several other remotes that I've dealt with in the past. For example, my iHome remote had very good controls, but it did not have controls for my iPod. This was something that I was very impressed with for the SkullCandy Superpipe, and I was greatly excited about once I got to using it. However, the remote could use a little bit more streamlined design. In my opinion, it has a nice feel to it, it feels good in the hand, but it could just do a little bit better in terms of design as opposed to the SkullCandy Superpipe. Overall, though, I thought it was a very good design remote. SkullCandy definitely did do a good job with it, and I was also very impressed at the range of it. You can be about 10 feet away from the SkullCandy Superpipe before it actually stops working, but you have to make sure that the SkullCandy Superpipe isn't being blocked by anything. Otherwise, your signal will get screwed up incredibly fast. After going over everything, including the hardware, the playback, and the remote, it's time for my final opinion on the device itself. Now, after everything, including the hardware, how stable it is, how it sounds, how you can control it, everything, in my opinion, the SkullCandy Superpipe is an incredible device which can offer users a great experience with music. However, I would not recommend this to higher-end audiophiles or people who want real control with their music through EQ. But for the average consumer out there, if you have a little bit extra money, because this is the big brother product to the SkullCandy Pipe, a much smaller super pipe, this would be a much better way to go if you want more power, more flexibility, and far more power from your music system. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed my review. I know I've enjoyed the 3 months I have had the SkullCandy Superpipe, and I'm going to enjoy all the rest of the time I can have with it, which is probably going to be for a very long time, hopefully. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/thedragonrider. And remember to check out the brand new website /blog, dragonridernetwork.com. I've been Connor Mitchell, and this has been the review of the SkullCandy Superpipe. I'll see you guys later, and I'll catch you in the next video.